Former Deputy National Security Advisor and author of the book Revolution, Trump, Washington, and We the People, KT McFarland, back with us. KT, so good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning.
So the good news, getting any hostage out is a positive. But 10 months into this war in Gaza, we right now have no idea how many hostages are still alive. The Biden-Harris administration really isn't doing a thing. They continue to fail at achieving a ceasefire. And more importantly, we rarely hear about the between 5 and 8 Americans still being held hostage. We don't know how many, and we don't know if they're alive. Now, why do you think that is?
Well, they don't want to talk about it because it's a failure. As you point out, they won't talk about the Americans held hostage by Hamas. They won't talk about the 13 Americans killed in Afghanistan at Abbey Gate because of their shambolic withdrawal decisions on the Afghan war. They don't want to talk about anything unpleasant. They'd rather just happy, smile, make up stuff. I mean, they were saying last week that Secretary Blinken was going to the Middle East to wrap up and finalize the details of the peace agreement. It was all made up. There's no peace agreement. Hamas isn't even talking. So they're living in this alternate universe of the, quote, facts that they manufacture because of political reasons. The real fact is that since Afghanistan, the United States foreign policy has gone precipitously downhill. Since Afghanistan, within weeks of Afghanistan, the Russians and the Chinese decided they would have a no-limits friendship. In other words, economic cooperation, military cooperation, political cooperation. In other words, an alliance against the United States. Within a couple of days after Afghanistan, Vladimir Putin started massing troops on the Ukraine border. And within a couple of weeks, Iran started supplying Hamas and Hezbollah, getting them ready for war against Israel.
Yeah. And meantime, by the way, as the war in Ukraine and the war in Gaza rage on, Joe Biden, KT, is on the beach right now. You've been around in Washington for a long time. Yeah. I'm wondering who's running our foreign policy, who's running the White House. KT, I wonder who you think is actually in charge right now, because it's not that guy right there.
No, it's not that guy. I mean, it's the same people who were in charge of the Obama administration. It's a lot of the same staffers, and they don't think they really need a president. They're in charge. They're not elected. Nobody knows who they are. It's all nameless, faceless, but they're in charge. And the reason they get terrific press is because they leak to the press all the time. Now, here's the real problem with that. I mean, not only is it undemocratic, not only are they usually wrong on everything they've decided, but our adversaries are looking at this too. So Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, they're looking at a headless leadership United States. In an election season, a president that can't be found, a vice president who doesn't talk, she just smiles and goes on the campaign trail. There's nobody in charge. This is when they're going to make their move. They're going to make a move now because they know that they'll never be held accountable for anything. And they also worry that if Donald Trump comes in January of 25, that the new sheriff will be back in town and he will be very tough on Iran, on Israel. Iran and on Russia and on China, and protect Israel.
So, KT, and I just want to get your political perspective on this and your expertise. August 2021, Afghanistan withdrawal, and we were just showing some of the images from that failed withdrawal. You look at these cargo planes trying to take off at the airport in Kabul, and these poor Afghanis are trying to, the American people there told them that, hey, we'll get you out safely. It was just, I thought, wow, there's no way that Biden-Harris can recover from this. Then Putin invades Ukraine, and I thought, wow, there's no way that anybody on the left can get elected with this. And then we saw what happened in Israel on October the 7th, and I thought that was the nail in the proverbial coffin for Biden or Harris, whoever's at the top of the ticket. And right now, it just feels like Americans don't remember all this stuff. Why do you think that is? Do you think they remember this when they go to vote?
Well, I think that, as everybody says, all politics are local, and the people of the United States in an election year don't really, the people, not the Washington guys, the people don't really start paying attention until after Labor Day. And it's the economy, stupid. I mean, it's all about the economy. Foreign policy, yes, because it underscores the idea that nobody's in charge. It underscores the idea that things are a lot worse now. And the famous Reagan line, which I think President Trump should use in whatever debate they're allowing him to have, is, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? If you are, vote for her. If you're not, vote for me.